Vyas Media Network. This is episode number 500, and it wouldn't have been possible without you. You came in episode number 15, Nirvana, and thank you so much for coming back on this. This is an episode that's very close to me. Like every single episode, this one's slightly more closer. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it's not because of me. It's because of your relentless hard work, vision that you have, of bringing out the stories, bringing out the best in people. Sort of disseminating and providing that communication of positivity that's made this show to the 500. So congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Means so much. Before we went on air, right? Malai ke tha भन्ने भन्दा I'll speak a little bit of we'll do a bilingual if that's cool with you. I've considered you my brother. Always. When you walked up and you saw the frame, there are things that you've said that I framed it up and literally kept it in my office. What's family to you? Let's start off with that. What's family to you on today's date, at this day and age?
Family to me is, it comes from two aspects. Number one is something that we don't choose. That's the God is.
Oh.
We are born into a certain set of parents. We are born with certain sets of siblings. We are born into a particular environment with certain individuals who become part of your family.
Yeah.
But then there's also some relationships which are thicker than blood. They're relationships and people come into your lives that are there with you during mostly the tough times, mostly the most difficult times, but you really enjoy their company, you learn from it. To me, even people working in my company that day and night I'm involved in, even my buale pani भन्नुहुन्छ कि we're part of the CG family, and he doesn't take it very, very lightly. He really means it that we are one family with one common goal, with one vision, and we are all individually doing our part to achieve that goal, achieve that dream. In when you're talking about a family with your father, mother, siblings, you have certain other types of goals and aspirations, but then the element of unconditional love comes into that aspect which you didn't decide to be born into.
How is the relationship with your brothers right now?
Oh, my brothers and I have always had a tremendously good relations. Touchwood. I feel really proud that both my younger brothers look up to me with that respect, and they're doing so well individually. I'm so proud of them. That they're fulfilling and being part of that entire family's vision of taking not only our family values but our group's vision forward.
After having a set of wealth, I'll put it in a very subtle way. After having a set of wealth, we've seen across the world families falling apart, families not getting together. कतिजनाले अहिले सुनिरहनु भएको छ होला जसको परिवारमा कुरा मिलिरहेको छैन होला, केही न केही बिग्रिरहेछ होला, कतै न कतैबाट त्यो पुँजीले गर्दा होला अथवा त्यो परिवारको दुःख पीडाले गर्दा होला हैन, कुरा मिलेको छैन होला. आजको दिनमा हाउ इज इट एट योर हाउसहोल्ड? Honest.
See, the worldwide, there's a particular statistic कि the first founder always creates. The second generation after that grows the company, leverages, grows it. The third one consolidates, and fourth one, 90%, 95% of those companies fail. I think we're in the stage, we are a fourth, now fifth generation company. What my father did something really, really well is, he put together a family constitution.
He was the third generation, if I'm not mistaken.
He was the third generation in Nepal. He put together a family constitution. We had a very extensive exercise. There was external, competent people who had expertise in this particular area in family businesses who were brought in, engaging with different members of the family, understanding their expectations, their strengths, their weaknesses, and a family constitution was formed. In the family constitution, we have separate sets of councils. Family council, which is headed by my mother. Business council. MD's council, that's between my brothers, three of us. Then we have the ownership council, and all 4 councils have completely different objectives and platforms. We discuss different issues, but all of it is leading towards that unshakable, that common vision and that dream that we have.
Join us and let your child sow in the limitless possibilities. We let the children be who they are and what they can be. Kathmandu World School, a world-class school for a world-class learning.
That is a non-negotiable. Now, putting in our individual family values in place, our business goals in place, those councils play a major role, where we talk about it. Once individually, between my brothers and me, our responsibilities are divided. Our ownership structure can be different within the company, but our responsibilities are very, very important. So all of us are fulfilling each responsibilities, and we also know between us that we leverage on each other's strengths. We help out in each other's weaknesses because our goal is very common. Our vision is very well aligned as to where we want to be next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
I was looking back at the history. Obviously, we've done a little bit of homework. 1900s when the family was here, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
1900s.
Right.
30s obviously started off with the textile shop. 50s road, furnishing, spinning, Nepal spinning came in the 50s and the 60s. Arun Emporium came in 66. So Arun Emporium is something that I've heard. Until when the Agadigo, I really didn't know as well. Last time when we spoke as well. 70s, biscuits came. 80s, electronics, financial services in the 80s itself. Nobel Bank, जहाँ मेरो पनि खाता छ आजको दिनमा हैन हामी धेरैको खाता छ आज. Nobel came in 84. So did YY came around the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously 90s was financial services, real estate in 90s as well. त्यो थाहा छैन मलाई. Real estate was in 90s. 2000s education and hospitality. 2003 when you came back, I'll jump to that, was remittance, hydro, cement, obviously now global expansion, which I'll come to in a while. That all happened in 2000s. The 2010s पछि होला, if I'm not mistaken, and which I want to come back to, right? I just want to touch base on this, that when you look back, आफ्नो परिवारको इतिहास फर्केर हेर्दाखेरि हैन, you have a lot of work to do to keep that legacy going. Do you feel the pressure?
There's definitely a pressure. It's not an external pressure. It's an internal pressure.
Inside, like I'm not saying anybody is going to tell you, Nirvana, you have to do 10 times better than when your great-grandfather started this or your great-great-grandfather started this. But within you, like that fire that I have to achieve, I have a purpose. I have to achieve X, Y, Z, like till my dying breath, and then leave a legacy that somebody else from 200 years from now, another Sanjay is going to ask your great-grandkids something similar. Do you have that?
Of course. When I say internal pressure, Vaneko, it's your consciousness. At the end of the day, when you're going to sleep, you ask yourself a question. Am I doing justice to a legacy which my forefathers or my father has created? Having worked in this company for almost 25 years and having been put in this particular leadership position, am I doing justice to it? What is my legacy, which in turn will lead to the family's legacy? There is no comparison that because I'm, my father's son, I have to beat him. It's not a competition. It's a very important pressure, which is your conscious basically telling you that I have to make something out of it. I have to do something out of it. I have been trained. I have the capability and the capacity to achieve that goal, and I'm not going to look back and leave no stone unturned till the time I achieve that goal. So that pressure is very important. Does that give me sleepless nights? Yes, in a good way. Does it drive me crazy? No. Because over a period of time, 25 years ago, if you ask me when I was still in school, I always really enjoyed the aspect of creativity, whether it's art or music or even sports. Non-business But over a period of time, when I got into business, I also understood and realized how I can channelize that creativity into business. Okay? So I'm very passionate about that creativity field, and I'm applying it into business.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जोय गर्नुभयो होला अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला व्यास मिडिया नेटवर्क